Recognition is defined by Webster's dictionary as giving special notice or attention to someone. There are some people who seemingly live to be recognized by others. They can't get enough attention, and they do whatever they can to make sure everyone knows how great they are. Perhaps you've met some people like that. In this story and song by the Pastoral Harpist, I will introduce you to three people who aren't looking for such recognition. I am Pastor Bill Reister from Our Redeemer Lutheran Church in Jacksonville, Florida, and I thank you for listening as I share some inspiring promises of God and also my view from behind the harp strings on the subject of recognition. The song which I will be playing for you, which inspires these thoughts, is called Here's to You by William Mahan. As I look through the Bible for the word recognition, I find only one verse where it's used. It's in the New Testament book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 16, verses 17 through 19. Here St. Paul mentions three people, Stephanas, Fortunatus, and Achaicus, who were sent to help him by the church in the ancient city of Corinth. He was truly grateful for them and says this, "They refreshed my spirit as well as yours. Give recognition to such people." Well, today I take Paul's advice and recognize three people who have been a blessing to me and have helped me along the way to becoming a harpist. I say it this way because there is still so much that I want to learn about the harp. Even though I play for dozens of events each year, it is with the humble recognition and realization that there are many harpists who have greater training and proficiency than I. I'm not a classically trained harpist and will never play with a symphony. There are many things that I still need to learn about the harp, but I'm grateful for the many people who have given me the opportunity to play the harp for them and for their special events, who have shown appreciation for my music. I've often said when I play the harp that I hope that the people enjoy listening to me practice, because any music this side of heaven is only practice. The best is yet to come with the perfect music in paradise. Until then, it's my aim in life to glorify the Lord with the harp, as did David, who said, "Then will I go unto the altar of God, unto God my exceeding joy. Yea, upon the harp will I praise thee, O God, my God." First, I would like to give well-deserved recognition to my wife, Susan Jabbo Reister. We met on my first day in Miami in July of 1981, where I had gone to accept my initial call as a pastor in the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod. I knew about her before arriving in Miami to serve at Bayshore Lutheran Church. A classmate of mine from seminary at Concordia Seminary in St. Louis had been an intern at her church in Hialeah, Florida. He gave me a list of 5 girls to get to know. He had written something only behind number 3, Susan, and by her name he wrote, "Beware." Well, after thorough investigation, I learned his caution was only because she hadn't had a date in 3 years. She'd been their babysitter, and that's how he knew. Well, the most unusual fact that he shared with me about this girl, who was a Lutheran school teacher, church secretary, organist, and choir director, was that she was also a harpist. In fact, just before coming to Miami for my work in the church, Susan had finished paying for the harp that I will be playing today. I don't have time now for the long version of the story, so let me just say that we were engaged a month after we met and have now been married for 40 years. After moving to Jacksonville, Florida in 1991, I gave Susan a semester of harp lessons at Jacksonville University. Well, since it was supposed to be a surprise for Christmas in 1992, or it might have been 93, I didn't know until it was too late that her schedule and the teacher's would not coincide. As a result, I took the harp lessons that I had paid for, and I've loved being an accidental harpist ever since. Susan's focus then and now is the organ and piano, and she let me take over the harp. Thank you, dear. We continue to enjoy making music together through our ministry called Celestial Strings. The second person that I would like to recognize is my first and only harp teacher, Diette Bunn. I think that I took lessons from her for less than 2 years before she and her husband, Doug, a doctor at the Mayo Clinic, relocated to the Rochester, New York area. During my first year of harp lessons, I succeeded in jamming the middle finger of my left hand. So much of my instruction that year was only with my right hand. Thank you, Diette, for being an excellent teacher, very patient, and a great encouragement to me in continuing to play the harp. And I know that sometimes you must have thought it never would happen. Finally, I would like to give recognition to a man whom I've never met, but feel that I know. William Mahan was born in Grundy Center, Iowa, not far from my hometown of Ellsworth. In a March 2019 email to me, he says, "I lived in Grundy until I was 3, and I came back to go to high school there when I was 14, and in between we lived all over the state. I didn't retire until 2007, but I started playing the harp and composing in 1991 at age 58." End of quote. This is what inspired me the most about Bill Mahan. After many years as a successful architect in California, and while he was still practicing his trade, he fulfilled his lifelong dream of becoming a harpist. The covers of his more than 16 books of original harp music, some 100 songs in all, feature his own watercolor paintings. I've been inspired to play the harp by his example of starting later in life, since I started at age 38, and was encouraged in my playing by his beautiful compositions. His music falls nicely on the fingers with its large chords and lovely melodies, and they make me sound like someone with more training than I have. Thanks, Bill Mahan, for permission to play your song today, and for the music which makes me love coming back to sit behind the harp to see the world through its strings. For Bill's music, you can go to www.folkharp.com, where you can order print copies or PDF files of Mahan's music. I hope you enjoy the song and share the story. So here's to you.